Hello. Good morning, dear students. How are you all? This video lesson module number 4 on metals and non-metals brought to you by Vignan Global Gen Schools, Hyderabad. I, myself, Venkat Reddy Peram, teaching faculty, Vignan, Madinagoda. Dear students, in the previous module, we have learnt about chemical properties of metals, like how do metals reacts with oxygen, what happens when metals reacts with water, what happens when metals reacts with acids, what happens when metal reacts with salt solutions, including reactivity series of metals. Now, in this module, we are going to learn about how do metals reacts with the non-metals. You already might have know about the previous information, preliminary information about metals and non-metals. Do you know what is the ultimate goal of atoms? Ultimate goal of the atoms. Yes, my dear students, you are right. To attain stability. Stability is in accordance with 3 ways. Losing of electrons, first way. Gaining of electrons, second way. And sharing of electrons, third way. In all the 3 ways, by using these 3 ways, atoms can attain stability. Okay. So, what is the ultimate goal of the atoms? To attain stability. In these atoms, metallic atoms are there and non-metallic atoms also there. Do you know what type of bond is formed between metal and non-metal? What type of bond is present between metal and non-metal? In what way metals would attain stability? And in what way non-metals would attain stability? So, in order to explore all these sub-themes, today we are going to learn about how do metals reacts with non-metals. Okay? So, without any delay, let us start the session. Today's session. What is that? How do, my dear students, how do metals reacts with non-metals. How do metals reacts with non-metals? Yes. How do metals reacts with non-metals? So this is the topic which is meant for today's explanation. Okay, my dear students. Now, so this is the topic covered under metals and non-metals, especially 3.3. What is that? 3.3. How do metals reacts with the non-metals? Now, you know very well about metals. Metals are generally electropositive. Metals are generally electropositive. And what about non-metals? Electronegative. Why metals are electropositive? Because metals tend to lose electrons and are able to form cations. And why these non-metals are electronegative? Very simple. Because non-metals tend to gain electrons and becomes anions. So, metals are able to form cations and non-metals are able to form anions. Okay. And what are cations? Positively charged ions are called cations. And what are anions? negatively charged particles are called anions. Cations are formed due to losing of electrons from the valence shell of an atom. And anions are formed due to gaining of electrons to the valence shell. Okay? But metals are able to form cations or non-metals are able to form anions. For what purpose? So the purpose is very simple, to attain stability by acquiring the nearest noble gas or inert gas configuration. Now let me take 3 noble gases. Yes, how many noble gases? 3 noble gases. Okay. Now first noble gas is helium. Okay. What is the first noble gas? Helium. Configuration atomic number 2. Electronic configuration 2K. Okay. Second noble gas is neon. Atomic number 10. 2, 8 Kl. 2 shells. And third noble gas is argon. Atomic number 18. 2, 8, 8 Klm. Now if you once look at the electronic configurations of these 3 noble gases like helium, neon, argon, outermost shell completely filled with electrons. So these gases are stable. That's why the valency of these gases becomes 0. There is no combining capacity with other elements or other atoms of the elements. So that's why noble gases possess 0 valency and are called inert gases, noble gases, rare gases because of completely filled valency shells. Okay. How will you explain? How will you explain the reactivity of elements? We will explain the reactivity of elements as very simple in this manner. The tendency to attain completely filled shells. Tendency to attain completely filled shells. And that is one of the ultimate goal for any atom of the element. So this is about noble gases. Why they are called inert gases. Now let me take metals. You know, metals, best metals are there at least from 1 to 20 elements. Now metal like first sodium. Yes. What is the atomic number of sodium? 11. Electronic configuration 2, 8, 1. Klm. So outermost shell only 1 electron is present. So unstable. So in what way sodium would attain stability? So to attain stability, this sodium atom would like to lose 1 electron from the valency shell. So the configuration become just 2, 8 and the ion formed is Na plus. So in Na plus, number of electrons are less compared with the number of protons. But in Na, number of electrons are equal to number of protons. So Na plus is more stable than Na. And what about magnesium? Magnesium, atomic number 12, configuration 282, Klm. Tell me about this condition. Magnesium would lose 2 electrons to become Mg plus 2 and the configuration become just 2 shells. So Mg plus 2 is more stable compared with 282 Mg. Here number of electrons are less compared with number of protons. So sodium would lose 1 electron and magnesium would lose 2 electrons to attain stability. Now aluminum, atomic number 13. Okay, configuration 2, 8, 3. Klm. So this aluminum atom would lose 3 electrons to to attain Al plus 3, where the configuration become 2,8. And the nearest noble gas in all the three cases would be neon. So, the nearest noble gas to sodium is neon, magnesium also neon, and aluminum also neon. And what about potassium? Atomic number 19, 2881. So, potassium would lose 1 electron and become K plus, where the configuration become 288 and the nearest inert gas is argon. And what about calcium? Atomic number 20. Configuration is 2882. There are 4 shells Kl, Mn, and this calcium would lose 2 electrons from the outermost shell and become Ca plus 2, where the configuration becomes 288. The nearest noble gas is argon. So, in this way, all the 5 mentioned metals like sodium, magnesium, aluminum, potassium, calcium would attain the stability by losing 1 electron, 2 electron, 3 electrons, 1 electrons and 2 electrons respectively. The nearest noble gas to sodium and magnesium, aluminum are neon, potassium and calcium are argon. In that way, these metals would attain stability. Then what about non-metals, my dear? Non-metals, like, best non-metals. Can anybody tell 2 examples for non-metals? Oxygen, whose atomic number 8. After oxygen, nitrogen, whose atomic number 7. Okay. And phosphorus, 15. Sulfur, Z is equal to 16. Any other non-metal? Chlorine. Chlorine, atomic number 17. Now, once observe these 5 cases of non-metals, similar to that of metals. Atomic number 8 means 2, 6, Kl. But unstable. What is the use? So, in what way this oxygen would attain stability? Already 6 valence electrons are there. Still, how many electrons would require? 2 more electrons would require to attain stability. So, this oxygen would gain 2 electrons to become O minus 2 with configuration 2,8. The nearest noble gas is neon. So, in spite of losing, this oxygen would gain 2 electrons. And what about nitrogen? 2, 5 electronic configuration. This nitrogen would gain 3 electrons to attain N minus 3, where the configuration become 2,8 and the nearest noble gas is neon. So, nitrogen would gain 3 electrons, okay, to attain stability. And what about phosphorus? Phosphorus 2, 8, 5, KLM. So, this phosphorus would gain 3 electrons to attain phosphorus minus 3. And the configuration become 288. Okay. And what about this sulfur 2, 8, 6, KLM would gain 2 electrons to attain S minus 2. Configuration become 288 and the nearest noble gas is argon. In that way, sulfur also would attain stability. What about the last one, chlorine? 287 KLM. So, this chlorine would gain 1 electron to become Cl minus chloride and the configuration become 288. The nearest noble gas is argon. So, in this way, all the 5 metals and non-metals would attain stability by losing and gaining electrons from the outermost shell and attain the nearest noble gas configurations. And this is one of the logic behind chemical bondings. Now, I am going to explain. Let me select 2 elements. One is from metal like sodium and one is from non-metal, especially chlorine. Sodium would lose 1 electron to attain stability. Chlorine would gain one electron to attain stability. So here losing of electron, here gaining of electron. And what kind of bond is formed between sodium and chlorine? Now let me explain. Okay, so far this is so clear, my dear students. Atom's ultimate goal is to attain stability, and these are the different atoms from metals and non-metals would attain stability. Okay, now I am going to explain what is that nature of the bonding or the type of bond between sodium and chlorine. What type of bond is found between sodium and chlorine? Okay, everyone is ready? Yeah, under the same topic, formations. Yes, very interesting topic. Put maximum attention. So this topic is very important from examination point of view. Please look at the board, all of you. Okay, now let me take the first example. Formations. Formation of NaCl. Do you know what is NaCl? Sodium chloride. The salt which we are using in our kitchen to improve flavor of the food. For the working of our nervous system, we use salt. And this salt plays very prominent role in our life and even in the struggle of freedom. Now, how this sodium chloride is obtained? Now, during this formation, first let me take sodium. What is the atomic number of sodium? 11. Configuration 2, 8, 1. Shells KLM. Okay. This sodium would lose one electron to form Na plus, where the configuration become 2, 8 and Na plus is stable compared with Na. So this is about step number 1. So in the step number 1, a cation is obtained. Cation formation. Na plus is the cation and the nearest noble gas to Na plus is neon and attain stability. And in the second step, let me take chlorine. Chlorine neutral atom, atomic number 288, configuration KLM, 287. And this chlorine, already 7 valence electrons are there, would require one more electron to attain stability. So chlorine is able to form Cl minus, configuration become 288. The nearest noble gas configuration is argon. So losing of one electron, gaining of one electron. So one day, what will happen? This sodium approached chlorine. Both sodium as well as chlorine approached one another like this. So step number 3 is meant for electron dot representation. What is that, my dear? Electron dot representation. Observe. Electron dot representation invented by G.N. Lewis. So Lewis dot representation. Sodium would approach chlorine. But how many electrons, valence electrons are there in sodium? One valence electron is there. So that one valence electron, let me show in the form of one dot. So this dot represents one valency electron. And this sodium would approach chlorine. Now how many valence electrons are there in chlorine? 7. Correct. Now already dot we represented. Now let me take cross. 2 crosses, 4 crosses, 6 crosses, 7. And these 7 crosses represents electrons from valency shell. Okay. And now after interacting with one another, this sodium would transfer one electron for the sake of chlorine. So there is a transformation of electron from sodium to chlorine. Electron transfer completely takes place from sodium to chlorine. After transfer of this one electron, sodium become Na plus, whereas chlorine become, this is the dot donated by sodium, and remaining are how many crosses? 4, 6, 7. Overall how many? 8. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And in this way, chlorine would attain negative charge. And these atoms, these ions repeated regularly to form NaCl crystal. Do you know? So Na plus Cl minus. What bond is present here? Na plus attracted towards Cl minus. A strong bond is set up between Na plus and Cl minus oppositely charged particles. And what name is given to that bond present between two oppositely charged ions? Anyone? Yes, you are correct. And this bond is called ionic bond. What is that bond called? Ionic bond is formed. And this compound is the best example for, what is that compound called? Ionic compound. Ionic compound. So what are ionic compounds? The compounds formed due to transfer of electrons from metal to non-metal. Once again, the compounds formed due to transfer of electrons from metal to non-metal are called ionic compounds. And these ionic compounds are also called electrovalent compounds. What is the other name, my dear students? Electrovalent compounds. Now, let me go to second example. This is the first example, formation of NaCl. Now, let me take MgCl2. How this MgCl2 is obtained? Very simple. Magnesium. How many dots are there in the valency shell? How many electrons are there in the valency shell? Magnesium, 2 valence electrons I showed in the form of 2 dots. Okay. But in the formula, how many chlorine atoms are there? 2 chlorine atoms. Chlorine 1, chlorine 2. Each and every chlorine would require 7 valency electrons. How many valence electrons are there for each chlorine? 7 valency electrons. So this is the condition. Now, magnesium requirement, losing of 2 electrons. Each and every chlorine requirement, gaining of 1 electron. So, first electron donated to first chlorine and the second electron donated to second chlorine. In this way, magnesium would attain Mg plus 2 stable, and remaining two chlorines to Cl 1 dot and 7 valency electrons represented like this, and which are able to form -1. And finally, this formation led to the formation of MgCl2, and a strong bond is formed between Mg plus 2 and 2Cl minus 1. That bond is so strong because this bond is obtained between two oppositely charged particles, and that is called ionic bond. And this compound also one of the best example for ionic compound or electrovalent compound. So in this way, sodium chloride formation and magnesium chloride formation actually we can explain with the help of transfer of electrons. And based on this, now I am going to give some work for you. So what is that work? You try at least 3 compounds from your side. What are the 3 compounds? One is sodium oxide. What is the formula? Na2O. And second one is magnesium oxide. What is the formula? MgO. And the third one, calcium oxide. What is the formula? CaO. So these 3 molecules you try on your own way by observing these 2 formations. Okay, my dear students, this is the small work assigned by me to you. You try at home conditions. So this is about today's explanation. How do metals react with the non-metals? So before going to conclude this particular module, let me give 1 to 2 minutes just to recapitulation. Metals are able to form cations by losing electrons. and non-metals are able to form anions by gaining electrons. So a strong bond is formed between metal and non-metal due to ions, and that bond is called ionic bond. But for what purpose this bonding means? To attain stability. But in the case of during this stability, different molecules are there, explanations like sodium chloride and magnesium chloride, how sodium plus ion, Cl minus ion are obtained, losing of an electron, gaining of an electron. And this third step is so crucial. This is the very crucial step. What is that? Electron dot representation. This electron dot representation is given by G.N. Lewis and also called Lewis dot representation. So this is the main step out of these three through which we can explain transformation of electrons from metals to non-metals. Okay. But sodium chloride, magnesium chloride we consider as direct single molecule. But this is wrong. These are like aggregates and are present in crystal lattice structures. Na plus attracted by Cl minus, again Cl minus is attracted by Na plus, again Na plus is being attracted by Cl minus. They are arranged in the form of small aggregates in lattice form, and that's why these are crystalline solids. Okay, so tomorrow we shall discuss, tomorrow's module we shall discuss about properties of ionic compounds, my dear students. Till then, have a nice day. Thank you.